17 for the 2019 8th grade CODA Tuba audition. With, obviously I left the repeats off. If that happens to be the cut, obviously do the repeats unless I say otherwise. Similar to, was it number 11, we want to think very lyrical, we want to think very connected, we want to think very fluid. This one doesn't test us as much in the higher part of the register, so for many of us, range won't be an issue, so we can really just focus on blowing great air and just making sure we're always making our best sounds. Some things to look out for, as I've said in a couple of the other ones, the dotted 8/16, just make sure the placement is exactly where it needs to be. Don't try to swing it. Don't be too lazy with it, for lack of a better word. We want to be extremely precise with that. Obviously, a lot of hairpins, so we want to make the most out of those. And while you want to make sure you use your best judgment, I would also say, even if there's moments where there's not a specific crescendo, decrescendo written, if you feel like you want to do something, by all means go for it. Especially if you have a private lesson teacher or band director that will listen to you, maybe run it by them before the audition. But obviously one of these, or one of the main parts of working on these etudes, not just for the audition, but just in general, is to work on our melodic interpretation and how to do things beyond what's just on the page. And I think that's always a challenge when we're younger. So this is a great example of how to do that. From there, really just making sure that we're taking quality breaths, breathing in time. I know there were a couple breath marks in there that are maybe not necessarily in the middle of a phrase, but are maybe a bit of a challenge to try to take. The biggest thing is we just want to make sure that the note before the breath isn't chopped off. You want to make sure you follow through with a great vowel syllable, take in as much air in as you can in a quick amount of time. Obviously, if it's after a dotted half note, you have a little bit more time versus when it's after an eighth note. But by all means, take the best breath you possibly can in the time that's allotted, and obviously make sure you're working with a metronome on that. You want to make sure you're not falling too far in front or behind the beat. Those are my thoughts on number 17 for the 8th grade tuba CODA band audition, and as always, happy practicing.